Hi there, so we are live in the movie library, and today I got a first. So I, I'm old school. I used to collect a lot of horror magazines back in the day. See, when I hit college, the first time, there were like a ton of like horror magazines like coming out around that time. Standard, the kind of the standard, the one that went on and became like you know really popular was Fangoria. And for a while, the magazine was gone. It was out of print. It wasn't being made anymore. And here in Canada, it is extremely hard to get Fangoria magazine. If you didn't like subscribe to it when it came out, it got the subscription actually got a little bit. Hey there, JR. More expensive later on. So I was into my local comic shop at a comic book day, which was quite a while ago, and I asked them if they could get me in Fangoria magazine. And we're going to talk about, by the way, a lot of stuff today. Hey, it's Cinema Dave, and I'm going to get your opinion on something. So, this is my first edition of my first Fangoria magazine from the new one. And luckily, it's got Us on it, which is, I know some people weren't like big on it, but that was one of my favorites. I really like that movie. And I'm actually keeping this. I'm not going to read this until I go back to work on the 23rd, so that I'll have something to read in the there. And I think Midsummer is out now as well. There's a magazine with Midsummer on it, and that I will get as well. Now, how pricey are these here? Well, with taxes in, they're $30-something for per issue. So yeah, kind of expensive. So Vinegar Syndrome made an announcement today. Sort of. They put out their newsletter. It's pretty pricey and ready. I paid $36 for mine. No, word of a lie, like 36, but with taxes in, no, 31. I'm sorry, that's a lie. It's 31. But still, that's pretty pricey for a magazine. It's around $26 Canadian, 31 with taxes in, but it's hardbound, kind of cardboard stock, with a 100-page magazine. Hey, Joseph. Anyway, so let's look at what was said in the Vinegar Syndrome newsletter. I'm sure some of you guys got it, so you're kind of as curious as I was once you read it, because I was extremely curious once I read it. Now, one thing I got to talk about right now is that while I'm looking for that, it is come to my attention that that Synapse is putting out a 4K release of Suspiria. So, who here is going to get the 4K release of Suspiria? I think it is an utterly awesome thing that they're putting at Suspiria on 4K. I'm really glad that Synapse is like diving into 4K, because they are a company that does a lot of this type of stuff. That being said, I paid a pretty penny for my Blu-ray edition of Suspiria. Well, my better half did. She got it for me. Pulse. It's first in October. Which one's Pulse? So see, I got a 4K player. I got like a bunch of 4K movies, but I just, it was pricey for us to get like Suspiria on Blu-ray around here. I think I better have paid close to $40 for it alone, right? So the thought of like grabbing it again on 4K, like if I can get it for like, if there's a deal comes on, or Synapse doesn't do a lot of sales and stuff like that. And the one time that Synapse did a sale was like a while back, and like a long while back. And I was in like St. John's at the time. That's how long ago it was that I can remember Synapse doing a sale. And I was desperately trying to buy stuff. I had like a $200 order. I mean, a $200 American $200 order, ready to go through, and it wouldn't go through, and it wouldn't go through. And I contacted Synapse on their Facebook page, and I emailed them, and they never got back to me. So they lost a $200 order back then based on that. I'm not quite sure how they are right now. But overall, I think that they're supposed to be pretty good people. Hey, Haitian movie enthusiasts. So this is, I'm going to read out a bit of the newsletter. Then we're going to do some kind of guesstimating on that. And I will tell you what I watched tonight too, because it got me inspired for my 31 Days of Horror. And I want to get your opinion on something. I really do. But here we go. So happy Friday the 13th in advance. Hey, B Movie Archives. Every year it gets harder and harder to beat the releases from the previous year, but we're fairly certain that everyone is going to be pretty thrilled with this year's October lineup. Unless, hey Michelle, this is about Vinegar Syndrome. Did you read this? Unless you don't like Eurogore, DTV Insanity with Academy Award connections, and never on disc slashers. But that's your problem. Anyway, since you're probably aware that we're putting out Anders Palm's Unmasked Part 25, somewhere it was called Hands of Death, I guess. I know it under the title Sex Bomb. We're going to do one final tease before the big reveal on Friday. We're extremely excited to be doing our very first horror box set. All 4, so now we know the amount of the films. 4 of the films included have been given fresh 4K restorations. They also have some pretty strong pedigree behind them. Then if a mask isn't enough Eurogore for you, well, we got a real treat from the guy behind 2 of the most insane pieces of 1970s, sort of, Euro horror. Period. Hey, Daz. And that's not an exaggeration. It's also another 4K restoration. If you're counting, that's 5 for the month. And lastly, who can resist a never-on-disc regional 80s slasher film? It's got gore, it's got nudity, it's got camping. All right, there you go. That is the Vinegar Syndrome newsletter announcement that the put out there today, whether you got it in your email or you saw it on Twitter, or this is your first time hearing it. They will be putting it out Friday at roughly 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with that being said, what do you think, guys? What do you think it is? We now know that it is 4K restorations for 4 films in that box set. So we do have 4 films in the set, which is intriguing. So waiting for your September package. That kind of, it gets me excited. It gets me excited a bit, but it also makes me, it's a 4-film set with some pretty big pedigree behind it. And they also mention Oscars. Hey, Corey, do you have any idea what Vinegar Syndrome is putting out? I know. The more I think, the less I think I'm right. People had mentioned the prom night, 2, 3, and 4 before, so that can't be the case now because prom night has 4 films. The first one wouldn't be included. Vinegar Syndrome are doing like a big horror box set, Corey, that you might actually like. And they're doing Unmasked Part 25, which I think you are going to like. It's a gore film. And a pretty funny one, too. So we got 4 films. So we know it's 4 films. It seems like, from what they're saying, that these films are related. So that kind of takes out the thought that it might be like a Canuxploitation set or maybe a Mexican horror set, unless it seems they're either like a series of films or 4 films that really go together. Now, they did say that there were 2 films that were coming. I see. The thing, Corey, is that, and maybe you know a bit more about this one now. I'd have to go back and look into it. They say that there's Academy Award pedigree. That frightened the crap out of me. Give me a second. I gotta take the battery out there so I can change it later. Yikes. Here, Dexter, keep that for a minute. Alrighty. Blind Dead works in that there's 4 films, but I don't think it works in the fact that, again, I don't see the Blind Dead as being set. That would be awesome. However, Armando de Osorio has done some amazing stuff, and the Blind Dead series overall is at least visually stunning for all the films, even though some of them work better than others. Though again, it's the Academy Award pedigree thing that's kind of throwing me off a bit. Now, he said 2 sort of 70s films as well. So I'm not sure if that has to do with the box set or if that's another thing altogether. So the way I see it, they said there's 5 in the package, right? There's 5 in the October package. So as far as I can see, that's Unmasked, 25, right? Sort of Euro horror, right? Well, the Euro horror, hey Amers, I'm not sure if the Euro horror is just relating to, I think that the Palm stuff is already like taken up with like Scream Factory and Arrow, like, you know, between them, like when it comes to the licensing rights to most of the films. But the Euro horror, Unmasked 25 is actually Euro horror. So I know that they're kind of talking about that there. And then they're talking about a couple others that are kind of Euro horror. And is that another thing? So, because the way I did it is like, so we got Unmasked Part 25. This is Anders Palm's film, which is kind of like a kind of a satirical, kind of like a Friday the 13th style thing, right? Now we got the 4 movie box set, which is 4 films with 4K restorations. And they said aside from that, there's another one which has a 4K restoration, as well as a shot on, I guess, a slasher film that includes camping that hasn't been on video before. It hasn't been on DVD, or it also hasn't been on the Fury. Get the Arrow edition, man. They put out a good edition of the Fury. You're region free, right? Are you region free? You should be region free, Gory. Because Arrow put out a good edition of the Fury. I know. I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan. But I'm more confused than ever. Because everything that I go for, it doesn't work. If they said 5 releases, I can only get 4 out of them. I can get like there's a shot on video slasher. There's the Unmasked Part 25. There's the box set. And there's the other film. Unless the other film is a double feature. In that case, then that double feature could be what some people are kind of guessing about, which would be Flesh for Frankenstein, Blood of Dracula, the Andy Warhol, Paul Morrissey films. There's a possibility with that, I guess, but that does seem a bit above the price grade that the Vinegar Syndrome would be willing to pay for something like that. I do know that he has been pretty tight with that. One thing I do know is that this is Vinegar Syndrome. This is their first box set. I haven't seen them go small with anything yet. So there's the possibility that this is going to kind of blow our minds. There's also the possibility that it's been so hyped. Oh, nice. Possession is such a great film and ready. I wish I could have afforded it. Excellent movie. Have you ever seen Possession before, by the way? If you haven't, you're in for like a real like mind trip of a film. And it is one of those movies that just, it kind of gets on your skin. And I do mean that in the best possible way. And the acting is like kind of raw and kind of real. So Possession, you've probably seen it. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, I don't have it at all. I haven't had it. I haven't seen it since long time ago. I think a Possession is much like kind of almost like if Cassavetes decided he's going to like make a horror film type of thing. It's kind of like that. Yes, it's their first horror box set. So we officially know it's horror, so we can take out anything, any of the Angels like trilogies. We can take out all the other stuff that were possibilities for October. It's officially announced that this is a horror box set. There are 4 films. We know that there are 4 films, that they are related. That and they did say there would be another like tease before Friday. What would you like to see? If you could pick anything, what would you like to see, guys? For me, I Exorcist films. Now that's going to be too hard for them, right? They will be released in October, so this will be a package that you will be able to get in October. You will be able to pre-order it, Corey, on Friday the 13th, this upcoming Friday, at 12:01 Eastern Standard Time. I have my thoughts on what I'm going to do for Halloween, but for the 31 Days of Horror, but I won't know for sure until that announcement drops. Oh yeah, but I don't. I think Exorcist is kind of above like what you're going to get out of Vinegar Syndrome, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like Exorcist is is a major studio release, and Exorcist 2 was put out by Scream Factory most recently, so they wouldn't be able to wrest the rights from Scream Factory. Exorcist 3 actually was also put out by Scream Factory. I have Exorcist 3. I don't have Exorcist 2 because Exorcist 2 is one that I do watch. I got it on DVD. I had it in my hand, so I was going to pick it up once, and then I remembered watching Exorcist 2 and not liking it very much. Not it is. I mean, it's hard, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been scratching the back of the proverbial brain here. Garbage. Yeah, I agree. That's what I think. Oscar pedigree. See, there's a thing with the Oscar pedigree. They may not be talking about an Oscar nominated. I don't think they're talking about an Oscar nominated film. They could be talking about the director of the film. They could be talking about the actor of the film. There could be someone that acted in that's Oscar pedigree. It could be like a couple of like Academy Award winning, Academy nominated actors in the film. Like if The Burning wasn't out on on Blu-ray already from like Scream Factory, like that would have hit the Oscar nominated camp slasher boxes. But again, that's already been put out. So we don't only have the 4 movies to think about, and it's 4K restoration, so we know it's going to be some good stuff. We also have got to wonder, what the heck is that movie, that's slasher film, camp slasher film, that's never been released? And see, for me, I can't think of anything. And I watched, you guys know me, I watch all the slasher films. All the slasher films. Even Decapitated had a DVD release from Trauma. So that doesn't work with that one. Because I thought about that actually. That could be something like Decapitated or something like what was in one of the Trauma sets. Silent Madness. I haven't thought of that movie in ages. I don't remember it well. Let me look it up. Hey, I got a question for you guys. More Don Dohler. I like to say more Don Dohler films, but I don't think that's what it is. Alone in the Dark does have 2 Oscar winners, but what would go with it? Remember, there's got to be 3 other films. That's the thing we're looking at, guys, that there has to be 3 other films. And even if it's not... Oh, Silent Madness would work perfect for like the... I actually think you may have struck on what the camp film is. Because I don't think Silent Madness has ever been on disc, has it? Because that's back in '84, right? Yes, Belinda Montgomery. They did that in 3D or something like that. That'd be a good call. You're right, Ken. What are the clues? Well, 13 Wolfman. what we know is that it is 4 films. We know now, it is verified that it is 4 films, that it is a horror box set, 100% for sure, that there is Oscar pedigree in this set. Now that could mean anything. That could mean that like some actors that had Academy Awards or were Academy were nominated were in it. It could mean that maybe the director of the film won the films. It does make it kind of seem that the films are connected. But with the Oscar pedigree thing put in there, I think that pretty much rules out Prom Night, the Prom Night sequels, especially since there are only 3 Prom Night sequels and there's 4 movies in the box set. I thought of The Burning, but then again, The Burnings was put out by Scream Factory, and I don't think I can see anything that would go with it unless they did like a kind of a slasher box set. And even then, there's a lot that's been put out that I don't think that they'd want to touch again. That's the key. There's the key part to this. Yeah, they actually said that some of the films. Well, that's the thing. There's 5 releases coming out for October month. I'm guessing this is going to be a Peter Jackson won Oscars, but and he does have gore. But the Peter Jackson releases are only 2. That's Bad Taste and Meet the Feebles. So we're still with 2 films. Rosemary's Baby is a Criterion release. So that's not going to be something that we get here. Dead Alive. I never thought, I forgot about Dead Alive. I really did. Wait a minute, Bad Taste isn't bad. Omen's coming out from Scream Factory actually in October month. If you were in Canada, for instance, the box set was like $79 and it just dropped down to $66. I can't see The Frighteners being one. I can't think of 4 Polanski like really. I don't think Polanski's films would come over to Scream Factory. No, sorry, to Vinegar Syndrome. I really don't, and I don't think there's enough there that they would take on. Like the most the one I can think about like with Polanski, the most Vinegar Syndrome Polanski film is The Tenant, and I think that's getting released by another company. So I don't really see that one being the one that we're looking at here now. I mean, it is like the Peter Jackson one. There's a strong possibility that they could work something out there, because we know that he was doing something with those films. But I thought they were coming up by a different company. I could be wrong in that though. Maybe it is Vinegar Syndrome that's putting Peter Jackson. I'd be really surprised. It'll be a great set. I don't know if I'd grab it right away though. Heavenly Creatures is fantastic. It kind of is a horror film. I guess it's more of a psychological horror film. It's based on a true crime case, and it does like kind of bleed fantasy into the actual film, and it does it magnificently. Heavenly Creatures is one of those really underrated films, actually, that I don't think gets talked about enough. It's actually a really great film, but it doesn't seem like a Vinegar. Can you see Vinegar Syndrome putting in Heavenly Creatures? I mean, I will be shocked, but I'll be like, Vinegar Syndrome is going in a completely different way than I thought they're going. I don't know. I mean, the Peter Jackson set. I think a lot of people would be stoked for that, but I wouldn't. I mean, I would, but not from Vinegar Syndrome. It's not. I'd be happy for them because I know that it would sell extremely well, but on a completely selfish level, and I'll be honest with you, I would think that this is something that hopefully is going to be that we're not thinking of, that we haven't guessed, or maybe one person has guessed it. Well, Silent Madness, 13th Wolfman, I think is 100%. That's the shot on video one. That's the one that's never been on DVD. That was a genius guess, by the way. So kudos for that. I never would have picked that one out. So I'm pretty sure you're right on Silent Madness being that unknown, that entity of the shot on video slasher film. But that's not part of the box set. That's one of the other releases. So we got Silent Madness. Okay. we'll check that box. We'll say it's probably Saw Madness for sure. That one I would like to have. And we have Unmasked 25, Part 25. So there's a box set. You think? No, Cheerleader Camp's already been on DVD, right? That's the thing. So as you know, there's a few. I mean, like, it's just that I do think that Silent Madness checks all the boxes that Vinegar Syndrome are talking about in that newsletter. And it does suit Vinegar Syndrome's style of movies put out. And it does interest me. But it's the box set that's the unknown entity right now. That's the killer part. All right. I have another thing to ask you guys. Well, we're still thinking about this because we'll go back to the Vinegar Syndrome thing. We definitely will. Tonight, I watched this. It's been a while since I watched it. This is one of my favorite documentaries. And that is Not Quite Hollywood, the Ozploitation. Yeah, it's definitive horror box set. They have announced that it's going to be their very first horror box set that they're doing, and that is going to be 4 films, and each one of these films is getting a 4K restoration. That's what we know about it so far. I'll watch this tonight. Not Quite Hollywood, which I really love. If you've never seen that documentary, it's been out for ages. Oh, dude, Enright, you really got to see it. It's fantastic. So, I'm looking at my 31 Days of Horror, and I had tentatively put in. So they say there's 5 releases for the Halloween month. What I can't quite figure out is does that mean 4 releases with a box set? Is what it seems like. So there's 5. There's going to be 5 items altogether. I'm guessing we'll probably have the option to get there'll probably be a couple different bundles. And one of them, I'm going to guess, is going to be pretty expensive. Because if they're putting in Unmasked 25, they're putting in a 4-movie box set. If they're putting out this slasher film, if it's Silent Madness, and they're putting out something else which could be a double feature, then definitely, that's a lot of stuff. That's going to be some heavy. That's going to be the heavy, big Halloween package of the year. The only thing coming close right now, like Halloween-wise coming out, I guess there's the Omen sets coming out in October. I really can't think of any October releases, any big October releases, like horror-wise. The Omen set's pretty cool looking, but it's not unlimited. It's not something that I got to pick up right away, and I probably won't, but I will get it. The Bava set from Arrow, but then again, the Arrow. Well, House 1 and 4 is out, right? I mean, it's been re-released a couple times, but the Bava set from Arrow. As much as I'm excited that that's coming out, I got a lot of the Bava Arrow films already, and it's just re-releases in a box. So, in region, yeah, it's right there. It's a great. By the way, if you don't have the Ring box set, I do recommend it. It's really, really good, and the features on it are incredible. Okay, so yeah, excellent. They were really, really good releases. And when Arrow did their what do you call it? When Arrow did their big sale, I picked up the Ring and the House box sets at that point. It's going to be expensive, Corey. That's for sure. It's got to be pretty pricey. The MSRB is going to be pricey, and I guess what they're going to do is going to discount it from the MSRB. So that's what's going to happen when it comes to the Vinegar Syndrome set. But they feel pretty strong about it. To be hyping it the way they are and kind of keeping this under wraps as highly as they kept it under wraps. Usually, you can tell. Usually, you go on a forum site. You look around. You see people guessing, right? People are guessing what the Vinegar Syndrome stuff is, and by far and large, people have been pretty close, been pretty right when it comes to a lot of these releases. This isn't one of the cases. In this case here, the Vinegar Syndrome box set. To all we know about it, we know it's horror. We know that it's 4 films. We know that it's 4K restorations, and we know that it's going to be announced on Friday the 13th, and pre-orders start at 12:01. That's all we know at this point. And they feel very strong. We know there's an Academy Award nominated, or at least Academy Award Oscar pedigree to it. We don't know that's Euro horror. They mentioned Euro horror 13 Wolfman in the newsletter, but Unmasked Part 25 is Euro horror. A lot of people don't take it as such, but it is. It's Euro horror film. It's by Anders Palm. The other film is that we don't know. The other unknown entity, it looks to be Euro horror. Yeah, limited edition stuff for October. And Corey, also there's another box set coming out in November as well that we don't know about. Unless it's unless that turns out to be the Vice Academy box set, but I don't think it is. So I'm gonna just look at the thing here. So just going over like the crux of that announcement. This year's October lineup, unless you don't like Euro gore, direct-to-video insanity with Academy Award connections, and never on disc slashers. So direct-to-video insanity with Academy Award connections. Think about that. Where the Peter Jackson films went in theater, right? Like Meet the Feebles and stuff like that. So that's not direct-to-video, as far as I know. Like I would have to look back on that. It says here that we're extraordinarily excited to be doing our first horror box set. All 4 films have been given fresh 4K restorations. They have some pretty strong pedigrees behind them. Then if Unmasked isn't enough Euro gore for you, so this doesn't look like, so the box set doesn't look like it's Euro gore. Euro gore is not mentioned up there. Then it goes down to Unmasked 25, which is Euro gore. It said, we've also got a real treat from the guy behind 2 of the most insane pieces of 70s Euro horror period. And that's not an exaggeration. It's another 4K restoration. So a guy behind two of the most insane Euro horrors from the 1970s. So that's another one. So that's Unmasked 25, something behind the guy that did 2 insane Euro horror films in the 70s, sorta. And lastly, a never on disc regional 80s slasher film. That's what I think. When 13 Wolfman said Silent Madness, that's what I thought. That one is. But we got, and they said that's 5 releases, but it doesn't seem like 5. It seems like 4 to me. Let's count them up, guys. So we got Unmasked Part 25, right? That's 1 release. We have the box set, which is 4 films, 4K restoration. That would be 5. I would say that's 5 right there. But no, obviously we're going to count that as 1, right? Because there's more. Then there's another, looks to be a Euro horror one, which goes to 3. And then there's a 80s regional slasher, which goes to 4. So if anybody else has read this over, you can let me know, because that to me reads 4 releases. Unless maybe there's a 5th release that might be like an adult release type thing, and you can go with a 4-pack or a 5-pack. They do have adult releases as well. Eurogore direct-to-video insanity. It does seem like 4, doesn't it? But there's literally, like right down here, there's a sentence that says, if you're counting, that's 5 for the month. Unless there's a double feature. Did any of Tim Ritter's films ever have, I don't know, any Academy Award people working on them? Is it possible that we're getting a Truth or Dare box set? And if so, does anybody else but me know what Tim Ritter's Truth or Dare is? Because Truth or Dare is direct-to-video insanity. Repulsion is still Criterion, as far as I know. I don't think we're getting something along that lines. I think that the Euro horror is and the box set are two separate things. I think you're right, Shadow. That makes much more sense. So 4 releases, 5 4K restorations. Shadow's figured that out. You've cracked that key, and that's right. Hello. Hola. So for right now, my guess, everybody, let's try and make guesses, guys. Let's make a guess. Somebody guessed Peter Jackson, which I think is a great one. I'm not sure if I'd buy it. Maybe I probably would actually. But I'm going to guess Tim Ritter's Truth or Dare series. If there's 4 of them, could potentially be the box set. Can you see that, guys? Does anybody know Tim Ritter's Truth? I gotta ask, has anybody ever seen the Truth or Dare films? I'm pretty sure Need Gore has probably seen them, and I'm pretty sure 30 Bookman's seen the films as well. Anybody here know who Tim Ritter is? So, Tim Ritter is he's definitely does regional horror, and he's a straight-to-video director. Well, Killer Crocodile's coming up by Severin. Seen the first one. Okay, so there was a few of them that were. Okay, I knew you would have seen them. So I've got part 3, which is called Insanity or something like that. So I know there's at least 3 parts. It checks all the boxes except for the pedigree box. As far as I know, there hasn't been any strong pedigree behind Tim Ritter's Truth or Dare films, but I could be wrong. There could have been somebody in there that I didn't really know. They started in 1986, apparently, and I'm not. So, based on a short film, Twisted Illusions. So, Truth or Dare is a franchise. We got how many films? I'm trying to find out here how many films are for Truth or Dare, because that. Would you guys buy that? So, hey, listen to this. The film is followed by 3 sequels. All of them written and directed by Tim Ritter, released direct to video. They are 1994's Wicked Games, 1998's Screaming for Sanity, Truth or Dare 3, and 2011's Deadly Dares. And I'm trying to see if any of them have any big, known actors. A.J. McLean is in the first one, of course. And if you don't know A.J. McLean is, then Backstreet Boys are back. All right. I'm not joking. A.J. McLean from Backstreet Boys is actually in the first film. And also, I'm not quite sure if this is going to be the box set or if or maybe they're doing one of them or something like that. It does deal with a campsite. It does deal with camping. No, 4 films released. The 5th film hasn't been made yet because they couldn't get the funding for the 5th film. So there's only 4 films thus far. Would people be disappointed if it's Truth or Dare? Because is there pedigree involved? Well, the Backstreet Boys. It would be a bold move, but I'd buy that. I remember watching Truth or Dare back in '86, when it came out on VHS, and it was pretty insane. It literally was like they're sitting around this camp. It's a totally gore film, and they're playing this game of Truth or Dare. And I'm not sure what's happening, but it's been a long time since I've seen the film, so forgive me if I get some things wrong. And and it's like, I dare you to cut out your tongue type of thing. And for some reason, the person is like, has to kind of do it. It's a crazy film. Uh, I don't think that's the box set. It would be insane if it was the box set. And I would kudos to Vinegar Syndrome if Truth or Dare. It's got 4K restorations and got put out there. See now on when you look on Wiki, they don't put it up like that. They'll say that there is, let's just say, for sequel-wise, like official sequels, there is the 98 film screen for Sandy, Wicked Games in 94. There is Deadly Dares in 2011, and funds for a fifth film titled I Dared You. Action Jackman were raised by Ritter and Scott Tepperman through crowdsourcing and Indiegogo, and it got an official release, you're right, on DVD in 2018. So that one, would that be part of it though? There you go. So that's 5 films. So maybe not. Hey, David. But you gotta admit, that was an intriguing thought there for a minute. It checked all the other boxes. Hello, kitty. Hello, my kitty. Oh, Action Jackman, the Vinegar Syndrome thing. We know for sure it's a horror box set. We know there's 4 films. I wish, well, we all know 13th Wolfman, unfortunately, who's got Mirror Mirror right now. And if they could wrest that away from him, I would be so friggin' happy. So you're hoping for like a J horror type of thing? Not me, not this time. I'm hoping for something unique. I know that we get J horror from Arrow and companies like that, so I'm never worried that J horror is never going to be represented. They've been represented a lot, especially recently. Arrow's put a lot of great releases, whether it be like the Ring set or Dark Water or films like that. So I know we'll eventually get a lot of great stuff from there. Naked Blood, yeah, it does. Would it fit in? I mean, maybe this is going to be. Maybe you're right, and this is going to be 4 unconnected films that may have kind of a tangential type of connection, just some kind of a small connection. See, Prom Night doesn't work because of that fact. Because Prom Night #1, that's a Severin? No, Synapse. Sorry, this is the Synapse release. And as far as I know, Synapse still has the rights to Prom Night #1, and that has already seen a 4K restoration. We got a 4K restoration on Prom Night at the time that Curtains came out. Synapse released them both simultaneously at the same time. Well, not tomorrow night. We find it Friday night, because they're going to do it on Friday the 13th in because Unmasked 25 is one of the films. A theme box set, that's looking more and more likely. Because it says, the Academy Award one doesn't look like it has to be with the box set, but it does say that there's high pedigree with the box set. No, don't feel bad, Action Jackman. I literally, yesterday, on Tuesday, I always wake up in the morning and I send my kids a message, happy Monday, happy Tuesday, love you guys, that type of thing. Hope you have a great day. So I sent them happy Wednesday yesterday, basically. And I got up today, realized it's Wednesday, and I said, oh, happy Wednesday again. Because it's do not get on my $31 magazine, please. Yeah, because Fangoria is super expensive over here. My first Fangoria of the new ones. Yep, it's the 13th means that'll be 10 days away from when I start back at my job. Everything old is new again. Everything new is old again. One knows what. Oh, what I was going to ask you guys. All right, so I'm looking at my 31 Days Horror. And if Vinegar Syndrome doesn't put out something really big, Well, Cheerleader Camp's already got a release. I actually got the Anchor Bay DVD of Cheerleader Camp. Me too, actually. Thank you. Somebody else liked Us because so many people were like ragging on it because I think they wanted it to be like just like Get Out, and it's two separate films, man. It is a great time to be a collector right now, Action Jackson. It really is. Anyway, one thing that I do want to say is if you haven't seen this, watch this. This is great. This is an amazing documentary. So I'm trying to figure out my 30 Days Horror, and I'm going with some Severance stuff. I'm pretty sure on that, but Blood Frenzy. Ooh, I never thought about Blood Frenzy actually. So this has got me interested in watching some exploitation during 31 Days Horror. I'm pretty certain I'm going to be getting Severance Next to Kin for the 31 Days Horror. I actually really like that film. Why, give it another shot. But I was going to go with The Night Killer as one of my 31 Days Horror watches. Now, The Night Killer is a crazy film, but I kind of think with Zombie 3 and Zombie 4 and Shocking Dark, I'll be overdoing it on the Italian Fragasso type of stuff. So I think I am going to grab the umbrella release of Road Games, and I'm going to go with Road Games instead for one of the 31 Days of Horror. I think, honestly, Corey, I think if Psycho Cop is going to be released, it would have been released by now, or we at least heard something more about it, to be completely honest with you. See, I know the features are incredible. I was looking at JB Hi-Fi tonight, actually. I thought maybe I'll go with them and I get some umbrella releases from there. I don't have Patrick. I wish I did. I love the film Patrick. Uh, if anybody's like has any extra umbrella entertainment releases that they don't want and want to send them my way for Halloween for the 31 Days of Horror, that would actually be amazingly fantastic. So I'm putting that out there. If anybody's got any exploitation or umbrella releases, definitely. Do you recommend, off topic, do you recommend the Giallo documentary? Which one? You mean the Severin one that came out, the All the Colors of Giallo? Are you, yes, I do. Yeah, especially if you're a newcomer to Giallo. If you're a newcomer to Giallo, I would definitely recommend it. Actually, I don't know if I've seen Explosive Action, but I will put them on my list because I'm always looking for new people. Yeah, because yeah, I went to get some, and I looked and I saw that Strange Behavior is actually the only exploitation that I got in my collection, aside from like of the horror stuff. Like nice, aside from stuff like fair game stuff like that, which I don't think is really horror. But hey, Milwaukee, how's it going? By the way, thanks for the links down there. Man from Hong Kong, I really want. Obviously, Man from Hong Kong has 5 films, because they deal with like Park, right? The stuntman. He has like a bunch of like films on it, like 5. I think it's like 5 movies, 5 extra movies on that one. Anybody that doesn't know, Man from Hong Kong was an excellent exploitation film starring Jimmy Wang Yu and George Lazenby, and has some amazingly incredible stunts in it as well. It's out by Umbrella Entertainment, and it comes with 5 extra films. I do recommend that you pick it up. I actually got to get it myself. My dad has it, and I've seen it, and I'm very jealous of it. I don't even have Dead End Drive or Body Melt. That's it. I don't have those two, which is insane. I had an edition of Dead End Drive-In that was a double feature on Anchor Bay with another film that I've actually got, like Cut and Run, I think it was. But the disc is faulty, so that one doesn't work. I had a couple. Like, you ever get that? That's the worst thing with DVD. Oh man, I would kill for that. I got strange. I bet it's from the same company, right? Uh, that was Synapse. That's Synapse, right? Put it out. Synapse. I'm pretty sure Synapse put it Thirst and all that. If you guys ever see an extra copy of that set, you can please send it my way. I would love it. I've been wanting to see Thirst for ages. Oh, you have a great night too. You going out there, Corey? Did I miss something? I probably did because. Oh yeah, I'm so backwards on this. There's a volume too. I noticed there's like this exploitation, like these box sets that are no longer Elite released it. Wow, Elite is Elite around anymore? Uh, that's the thing. Is Elite even around, or are they gonna? I actually don't know. I'm seriously asking. Is Elite still in business? Oh, they're not. Okay, I didn't think so. That's probably why the reason we can't see them around anymore. I know that though I've got Strange Behavior, but I'm pretty sure I got the Synapse edition of it. That's the one also called Dead Kids, right? With the kind of going into the needle going into the eye. Oh, get ready to play a board game. Oh, nice. What are you playing? I'm here doing the I guess the Doctor Evil or the Blowfield thing with my cat as I talk. Huh? Do you want to be on film? Do you want to be on film? Okay, let's get him on film for a minute. Huh? What do you think? Huh? Gonna be a star? Okay. Thanks. Because it's been like that one, and the day after Halloween. I think it's Vinegar Center put it under its original title, Snapshot, right? I gotta get that one down the road too, because that was a really cool film. I remember there's a sequence in the film where she goes into this room, and like it's all filled with like kind of like pinups of her, like this nude pinup of her over and over again. Really cool sequences. Sorry guys, I'm a cat guy. I do. I make no bones about the fact that I'm a cat person. Old school checkers. Well, it's not. Night Killer depends. Okay, Corey, do you like Bruno Mattei and Claudio Fragasso? Night Killer has a bit of like a bit of history behind it. Basically, Severin put it. Severin or Synapse, one of those. I think it was Synapse that put it Thirst actually. Apparently, Elite put it out too, but I think Synapse put it out either afterwards or I think Synapse put it afterwards. All right, so because I think they put out like Thirst and Patrick and Strange Behavior and one called Dogs too. I think something like that. Dogs, you wouldn't like that, would you, Kitty? I was going to say something. What the heck was I about to say? Distracted by the cat. Can anybody like put me back on track here for a second? Um, you are adorable. He does the Michael Myers head tilt thing, but with puppy dog, well, kitty dog eyes. Dreaming Voyage, Survivors. The Survivor's excellent film. The Survivor is the one that, in a way, is kind of reminiscent. I guess in a weird way, it's kind of reminiscent of Found Destination. Basically, there's this. I think it's the pilot or something survives an airplane crash, but he keeps seeing like the ghosts of like the people that died, like coming to him. Kind of very cool, kind of psychological thriller. I'm actually really excited about grabbing Next of Kin because I saw that one before like a long time ago back in VHS days, and I really liked it. It had kind of like a Suspiria meets Shining type of look feel to it. I don't mean Suspiria in the way that like witches and stuff. I mean just it had that kind of like really kind of like dreamlike like state and sequence, and of course the haunted old person home thing definitely give you a feel of like kind of the Overlook style. That's just me. That's kind of the way I saw it back in the day, and it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm not quite sure if it's going to hold that same kind of like feel that it gave me back in the day. But if you've never seen Next of Kin, I definitely recommend that you check it out. It actually is a really good film, from what I remember. Luckily, Kathy watched Grandmother's House and actually did agree with me and liked it. So that one, so score one for me there. I'm glad somebody liked that recommendation that I gave. Um, Too Long, No Heart. You're talking about it, Chapter 2? It Chapter 2 for me, I think is going to be one of those problematic films where there's going to be a lot of sequences at work, but 3 hours, 3.5 hours long uh, is going to be a bit. It's going to seem like there's a bit too much put in. The entire TV miniseries isn't as long as the as the other one. Blue Monkey definitely needs a release. That see, that could be if they did a exploitation one. Um, that's the reason I haven't gone to see it actually. To part two, 2 hours and 49 minutes for a theatrical cut. It does hold up nice, Darren. I really want to see that one. That's one of the ones I got picked out to get from Severn. So if everything goes well, and there's no more cars explode on me, then I should hopefully be able to get that one. For me, I was offered the chance tonight to go see it in the theater. My better half actually. Actually, I haven't. I've got Satan's Slaves here, but I'll be completely honest with you, Hammers. I haven't picked it. I haven't picked up and actually sat down and watched it yet. I do plan to get the Indicator box set down the road, and I do want to sit down and kind of watch them both, and then kind of like do a video kind of reviewing both the Vinegar Syndromes and the set on eBay now for 1997. You're picking the wrong time for me, dude. My dad had that set at one point, but he doesn't have it anymore. Damn. Well, worst case scenario that I do. So revenge, right? Oh, did you like Prey? Excellent. Because Prey was a really good film. That's one that I recommend anybody. Like even if you don't like Norman J. Warren's other stuff, if you've never seen anything by Norman J. Warren, if it's like kind of like not in your ballpark type of thing, it's one of those that you go into and it's completely different than you think it's going to be. Uh, my God, you are such a baby tonight. It's okay though. It's okay to be a baby. It's okay. Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you. Sorry, Corey. That's what I was talking about. Okay, so Claudio Fragasso, who did Troll 2 and a bunch of other films, he's usually a writer. Actually, he directs, but he's usually kind of a writer as well. He was making a movie called Night Killer. Night Killer is kind of almost like a slasher, Nightmare on Elm Street type of thing. Hey, Brian. So he brought in his cut for Night Killer. The studio looked at it and they said, what the hell is this? And then they brought on Bruno Mattei. And Bruno Mattei went up and finished doing Night Killer. So it's a movie that has fingers in it by Bruno Mattei and Claudio Fragasso. It Watch the trailer. It's kind of nuts. I think you'll have fun with it. I mean, it's going to have gore. No, don't expect good acting. It's a Claudio Fragasso film. It's a Bruno Mattei film. Good acting is totally not there. Oh, it is Seven. Okay. But it's fun. I mean, it's a fun film. You'll. It's one of those movies where you sit down and you watch it with somebody, or you watch it on your own with a beer or something like that, and you're like, this is a film. I think he's talking about the exploitation Thirst, actually, Action Jackman, which is an earlier film, vampire film that had Henry Silva in it. To be, it'll be a fun film. I think you'll have fun with it. Corey, I think you'll enjoy. Don't like shoot me too much if it's like kind of crazy, because it is kind of crazy. I'm letting you know that like ahead of time. But yeah, but the it's a fun little release, and it was one of the ones I was looking at getting for the 31 Days of Horror. But I'm going in an exploitation way, and I don't want to overdo it with the oh. This is a film. Out of all the films put out this year, this is definitely one of them. That's the thing. There's a lot of VHS movies that haven't got a DVD or Blu-ray release. So there's so much there to put out. I mean, look at all the stuff that companies like Slasher Video, or Severin's, like kind of like their sister label that they do Intervision, like puts out movies that would never get like, oh kitty, you're gonna fall off. Don't go falling. I love Henry Silva. He made so many good movies over in like Italy. Like that's where he kind of like came into his own. When he went to Italy, he actually did a lot of stuff there. The cat is like, I got a cat here, and he's so like attached to my leg right now that, and this is kind of leaning off here, so I'm frightened he's gonna fall off. But cats land on their feet anyway. But it's still, he's 14 years old. I don't want to fall out himself. Part one? What do you mean? Okay, Mike, I'm interested. So they put out the release, well, the newsletter. Is there a part one to this announcement coming out? Damn, that's good. What did you get again? Like, because I can't remember. Like, which ones did you pick up for the indicator stuff? Did you pick up the Hammer ones? October announcement first, because they're announcing it for, oh, nice, which is really cool now, because Volume 4, which I got pre-ordered by the way, is coming out, and damn is it good. Damn is that good. You just got Castle Volume 2. I'm guessing you've already got Castle Volume 1 then. We must have Volume 1 because they get Volume 2. But yeah, because the big announcement is going to be at 12 on Friday 13th. They don't mean 12. They don't mean 12 tonight, right? They mean 12 tomorrow night. Or do they? There's a good question. 12:01 a.m. See, I took that to mean tomorrow night at 12:01 a.m. Could it possibly mean that the Vinegar Syndrome announcement, the October announcement, is midnight Thursday night? Because 12th tonight is the 12th, tomorrow's the 3rd. Yeah, so yeah, tomorrow night, yeah. So I will probably be making a late video tomorrow, guys. You guys down with that? It is true with the indicator stuff. It'll be interesting to see. I hope that by 12:01 they actually do mean tomorrow night at 12:01, because that is officially Friday 13th. 4-film box set, plus Unmasked Part 25, plus a shot on video, never released to DVDs, camp slasher film, plus a Euro gore film. So that's 4 releases. Oh, have a great night there, 13 Wolfman, and we'll see tomorrow if Silent Madness is the one. I think he's tired of me petting him now. He's just turned away from me. Anyway, maybe I should let you guys go. Make a lighter night of it tonight with the video. All right. So tonight we have talked about exploitation. Hey, Darren. Me too. See, I may have to go out and grab I want the indicator one. That's what thought about getting the Laura Mars one. yesterday. Actually, when I was looking at the Laura Mars one yesterday, the Mill Creek one, it was like $13, and it went up to $18 within a day. And I know I'm not going to pay $18 for a Mill Creek release. I'm sorry. Not, Mothra Steelbook, yeah, that I would. But for a regular Mill Creek, no feature release, that's like a $10 or $12 buy for me. Max. That's where I max out with Mill Creek Blu-ray stuff, because a lot of them I see show up in my local Dollarama and places like that. Oh no, Laura Mars isn't Brian De Palma. It's God, who's the director for Laura Mars again now? Definitely not De Palma. Yes, When Strange Comes Back's really good. Something older. I would like to see something kind of cooler and older too. But Eyes of Laura Mars, who was that again? It's killing me. I gotta look. I'm totally gonna IMDb it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Not gonna pretend that, oh look here, I've totally remembered it right now. Ivan Passer, is that who it is? No. Irvin Kershner. Oh wow, okay. So the guy's the director of RoboCop 2 and Star Wars. The one, Empire Strikes Back. You're right, the director of Empire Strikes Back. The best Star Wars in my opinion. That's okay. At least you were close. You're into the ballpark with it. John Carpenter. I thought John Carpenter wrote Eyes of a Stranger. The one with Lauren Hutton. I think it's Lauren Hutton, right? No, Lauren Hutton's in Eyes. My God, I'm getting them all confused. Yeah, because I got this box set here. Twisted. Anybody else got? I guess you got the Twisted. RoboCop 2 actually is underrated. I'll agree with you on that one. Anybody else got the Twisted Terror box set? That's one of the ones I got here. I'm trying to see where I got it at, and that had the movie that I think that you're talking about, the one with that John Carpenter kind of wrote and directed it. Actually, it was a television film, I think. I think it had Lauren Thills from like Love Boat on it. He did write it. Wow. See, this is how long it's been since I've seen Eyes Laura Mars? A long freaking time. But no, I did not. I don't know if I knew that. I probably did, and I didn't realize it. Yep, John Carpenter. There you go, right on. And then a bunch of other people like just Julian Barry, Mark Crowley, Tom Lee Jones wrote did a monologue writer, was monologue writer for Eyes of Laura Mars. So he probably wrote some of his own dialogue and wanted to like some credit for that. Great movie though. Faye Dunaway, Tom Lee Jones, Brad Dourif, Rene Auberjonois. I totally got his name wrong. Raul Julia. What a cast, man. What a great cast. And as you guys know, if you watched my video when I did the unboxing of the 31 Days of Horror to show you guys like some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing, I showed Lucio Fulci's The Psychic, which actually came out the year before Eyes of Laura Mars, and they do have some similarities in the plots of both those films. I don't have the Legacy yet, actually. That's the cat one, right? With the cat on the cover. I remember I used to get the Legacy and the Uncanny like mixed up because they both had like cats on the cover. And of course, the Uncanny is the one with like the cats with Peter Cushing, and I think Donald Pleasance too. With hair actually, or maybe it's a wig. But I remember Donald Pleasance being on it. I love 70s and 80s films. They're my favorite genres. My favorite genres. Not favorite decades. Now, for anybody that has this, it's something I'm looking at, like strongly looking at, and I want to know your guys' opinion. Umbrella Entertainment put out these trailer Blu-rays called Drive-In Delirium, and I've been wanting to pick one up for a while. They're fairly inexpensive right now, so I'm strongly thinking on them. Does anybody have them? Can anybody recommend them? You got to thank you. Oh, perfect. How do you find them? Because I'm looking towards the 80s one. There's like the 60s and 70s one, which has a kind of a really cool cover on it. But the 80s one, I'm hoping is going to have like a lot of slasher stuff and like a bit of this exploitation. So yeah, I'm probably going to pick up one of those. I'll probably go with the 80s one first, because that one is inexpensive. Fairly inexpensive, like $23. I think I got the bones for that. Yeah. Am I so old that I'm the only person that uses that phrase for like cash? I think I am. I think I am that old. Older than dirt. There's a slasher one? Ooh, I didn't know that. See, the ones I've seen so far, one had like the man like Charles Bronson on it. Okay, I didn't to pet you. The other one had was a 60s, 70s kind of one. It had like almost like looked like something from Hammer Films on it. Uh, then there was like a one with Jaws with the shark from Jaws on it, and then there was the '80s one. I think the '80s one might be with Charles Bronson. I'm a kid to you. I don't know about that. I don't think I'd be kid anyone. That's cute. This town needs is a RoboCop too. '80s is two parts. Ooh, I didn't know that. See, when I just went on. Hello. Ripped DVD. So you got them all on DVD-R now. I've got my cousin actually. Whenever he buys like a like he's a real Apple fan, right? Whenever he buys like a new, he usually buys DVD over Blu-ray, and the reason he does it is so that he can like rip them to his iTunes and just put them away. For once, the Crackdown Part 2 is stock and slash. I'm gonna look that up afterwards. Thanks a lot, Rich, because I had no idea. I'm a newbie when it comes to these. I'm a huge trailer fan. Back in the VHS days, I had so many trailer tapes, it was ridiculous. From almost any company, I was buying trailer tapes like left and right. And here, since I bought like DVDs and Blu-rays, I really don't to be live when the Synapse. I'm going to try and be live when it drops. Uh, because it'll be really interesting to see. It's almost Friday, counting to the hours. Yeah, then we only have another. Well, it's 11 o'clock now, 11:04 here in Canadian time. Once I get one, I'll get them all. I see. That's the way I think it's going to be. Back in the DVD days, I had one on DVD days. I had a 42nd Street one, but I don't have that one anymore. I think the Severn put that one. No, Synapse put it out. I keep getting the two S companies. Man, I get them confused. Right? Do you get them confused? Do you? Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Umbrella, dude, look up Umbrella, man. If you haven't checked out their stuff, they got some amazing stuff. And the Australian dollar is a little bit around 10 cents less right now than Canadian dollar. So if you're in, if you're in the United States, that's even you're gonna even less for you. Uh, yes, put it to you in like so. So the Australian dollar is 90 cents, like well, it's 90 Canadian cents, and that is 68 US. So think about that. So if you're in the United States, you're going to get 68 cents on the dollar for any Australian releases you buy. Now, I will tell you, there's a place called JB Hi-Fi, which is pretty much like Australia's version of HMV. And if I thought I could get the movies in time, because they say 2 to 6 weeks, and I'm worried I won't get them in time. But there's a sale going on right now at JB Hi-Fi. Buy two, get one free. And I'll tell you right now that the Drive-In Deliriums, like at least some of the Drive-In Deliriums, are on that sale. A lot of the Hammer Studio Canal films, the Australian version releases of those, which are the same as the UK releases as far as I know, almost all of them, are on that sale. So there's a sale that I guess I should have mentioned out front, because the one thing I do try to do here, guys, is I know how expensive it can be collecting movies and Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff like that in physical media. Could be down but so I try to, like, whenever I know there's a sale that's out there, I do my best to get on here and to let you guys know right away. So JB Hi-Fi right now is having a huge sale with buy two, get one free. I checked it out. I did up a mock order in my cart. And I'm seriously thinking I'm getting a couple of those Drive Deliriums, and maybe because they had like Silver Bullet is like $35 American, and this is the other thing I was going to talk about. Oh, I almost forgot. Did anybody see the artwork for the Scream Factory edition of Silver Bullet? Has everybody seen it? I, yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. It doesn't, Corey, though. It doesn't. It's horrible. It doesn't look anything like what Silver. It looks like if it was the Goonies maybe or Monster Squad 2. It is so busy, and this is this is a werewolf mystery film, and it looks the werewolf does not look good. Just my opinion. It is, but just look at the umbrella. Look at the umbrella cover, man. Like seriously, it looks kind of like the book. The flyer work, I know I think I like the flyer work if I remember correctly, but I don't remember it well. So I'm gonna look right now. Good Lord, that's not even a word. I think I'm gonna grab the. It's it's okay, I guess. It is kind of over the top. I'm not sure the artist that's doing these. I mean, he's definitely he's skilled. I mean, like that does look like kind of like Jeff Goldblum with a lot of hair. But Jeff Goldblum did have a lot of hair at that time, so that's I'm nitpicking there. But I do think that that they went kind of nuts with the Silver Bullet artwork. You don't have to go in like that. I mean, I'm going to share that. I'm going to see if I can share the different artworks so you can just kind of have an idea. Uh, so first off, this here, Fear No Evil looks really cool. I haven't seen Fear No Evil in ages, man. This here is the umbrella artwork. Hey Ben, welcome back. So this is the umbrella artwork. I'm not a good artist. I did go to school for it though. Little known fact: I went to art school. I was in journalism, and I got sniped by by the art department. And this is the Vinegar Cinema release. So there, look at the Vinegar Cinema one. Sorry, no, sorry, Vinegar. I'm sorry, I'm Vinegar Cinema in my mind tonight. This is the Scream Factory release artwork of Silver Bullet. This is the umbrella artwork for Silver Bullet. The umbrella artwork looks really good and really adult, and the Scream Factory artwork is just out there. Yeah, but the thing is, the original versatile artwork for Silver Bullet, if I remember, isn't the greatest. Oh, Giallo! How did I stumble into Giallo? Well, actually, I lived in a small community, and the the local theater basically couldn't afford to show like a lot of like the big like new releases that were coming out. So what would happen is we would get like a lot of like we get Argento like Deep Red and films like that, films of that ilk, come to the theaters, and we get like some of the early Jackie Chan stuff, way before Roman in the Bronx, the early stuff that he did. So I used to go to the theater whenever I'd go visit that area, because there was no theater in my hometown. It's like a small theater, and I would go watch films, and they would have like a lot of like these like creepy like ones. I think one of the first ones I saw would probably have been like, I'm not sure if it was may have been Tenebrae or Deep Red, one of those two. I remember I think I saw Bird after that. Like Bird was the first one I watched on VHS, I think. But that kind of got me into it, and I've been big into the visual medium, and my favorite movie of all time is Black Christmas. It's a 1974 Bob Clark classic, not the end of the other Black Christmases. Uh, and if you watch that film, it does have that feel, that like really nice feel. Hey, B movie, welcome back, of a giallo, and the visuals in Black Christmas, and the killings in that, and kind of stuck with me, and going from there to like just watching slashers on VHS, and then going into and watch remembering the movies that I saw in theater when I was young, and I started watching the giallos as well. They kind of, there's only so many slashers you can watch, and they kind of become one the same. So giallo was like the offshoot of the slasher genre. So the first one was probably something like Tenebrae, which is actually my favorite Dario Argento film. So it's stuck well. It's a good question actually. So thank you for asking. Black Christmas, not Black Xmas. Black Xmas I hate. You went to the Black Christmas house? I've been by there. I should have went in. I mean, I should have went there. Well, not in, but some house. But I should have went to. I know I passed it. But Black Christmas, the original, the 1974 one. I saw it when I was really young, and obviously, like I'm not that old that I saw Black Christmas. I think I was a teenager, but I saw it when I was like preteen, and it just is one like it stuck with me. And I rewatch it on a regular basis. It's like I watch it every Christmas. I had it on VHS. I got it when it came out on DVD. I bought it on Blu-ray. But it's always been that one that has stuck with me. It's just the visuals, the way the camera work is done. It's amazing that you got a director that directed Black Christmas and went on to do like Murder by Decree and Porky's, and and then Christmas Story. Uh, it is atrocious, man. But it's my favorite because it's the film that made me look at film. Uh, it For me, it is. It's definitely the perfect horror, and it's not just my favorite horror film. It's my favorite film. When I watched it for the first time, I noticed camera work. I know as a kid, I was just watching movies usually, and I was just like surface watching. Like, okay, this is a good movie. I like the story. This is cool. This nice effects, that type of thing. But when I watched Black Christmas, I noticed the way that the camera moved. I noticed the way that they acted, and I noticed the scripting. So that's what it made. It's a movie that made me fall in love with cinema. I can see Suspiria make somebody fall in love with cinema. It's one of those films. Not a lot, laserdisc wise, unfortunately. Not a problem. And that is a great question, by the way. Bob Clark is one of those amazing versatile directors. I wish I could say I had like 100 laserdiscs or something like that, but it's probably more in the range of like 25 or 30 actually, that I have. So not a lot. I've only had around four for like the longest time. Hey, Scalder. But I went to like a record store, and we were like just walking around, and my oldest, she like said, "Look, there's Laserdisc there." Murder by Decree is one of my favorite Sherlock Holmes films. Christopher Plummer's amazing in it, and it does use. This is one of the places where you reuses that eye trope. Remember that from Black Christmas? The "Hi, it's me, Billy." You get to see the eye, the creepy eye thing again, like in Murder by Decree. He does kind of use that with the Jack the Ripper character. So if you've ever seen like Black Christmas and you've never seen Murder by Decree, definitely check it out. Oh my kids do love laser disc, the big shiny disc. You remember that, eh? And they watch for that sequence because it's really cool. Yeah, that's true. He did do a Christmas story, so he's got very weird like thoughts on Christmas when you think about it. You didn't like the film, really? See, I love a Christmas story. What I don't love is a Christmas story too. That is painful. It wasn't done by Bob Clark, by the way. I missed them on the videos too. Trust me. I was talking to them tonight. They're doing good. They've managed. They got through Hurricane Dorian, which was obviously like a big thing there. Oh, there's a sequel. Don't look for it, dude. Uh, and it hit them harder than it hit me. I know, Ben. I'm excited about it. Tomorrow night we should know for sure. So hopefully, if it's at 12 o'clock. Oh, Corey's going. Oh, bye, Corey. Have a great evening there. Yeah, by tomorrow we should know for sure. If you haven't checked it out, Vinegar Syndrome did put out like a newsletter with some hints to it. It's going to be big. Didn't they turn? I'm not sure if maybe if they were shot in different places, but I know that I guess the gas station, was it the gas station that they turned into a diner? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the gas where the gas station was at, and turned it into like a diner, like a rib place or something like that, which I think is amazing. I'm not quite sure if I would eat there. Barbecue, yeah, I'm not sure if I could eat there, but because I'd be thinking in the back of my mind, kind of like Motel Hell. Have I seen the Devils? Actually, I got the Devils. Unfortunately, it hasn't been released uncut, but I do have the. I think it's BFI that put it out. Put out a 2 disc edition of the Devils. No, no, you're exactly correct, Mug. Tammy and her T-Rex is going to be one of the mystery titles for November. They said that November is going to be a really big month for them, and people are going to be extremely excited about the releases coming from November as well. So, Vinegar Syndrome are looking towards a big October and a big November. Uh, they're stacking their deck really, like really strongly stacking their deck. On 2%. Actually, Jackman, thanks for coming in so long. I know you're passed on Tammy the T-Rex. You're waiting for Debbie does the T-Rex. That's what you're waiting for. Do you have a favorite non-horror? It's hard to say what my favorite non-horror film is. I got a lot. I mean, I really love film noir. So like movies like Kiss Me Deadly and Out of the Past definitely stand out of like films that I rewatch over and over again. And the original Narrow Margin, not the remake, but the original Narrow Margin I think is an incredible film too. I love Alone in the Dark and I love Fade to Black. Those two desperately need releases. How many of us? Oh, B Movie Archives. I'm actually heading out too as well in a second. B Movie Archives. I got to say, if they put out, what's my favorite? I love Giallos, so a lot of those, man. Tenebrae probably, but I would say like, oh god, if they put out Alone in the Dark and Fade to Black, if those were two of the movies in that box set, who wouldn't be there, man? Fade to Black is Dennis Christopher. I was watching ever watch Green Junkies? You know, the guys who honest trailers and stuff like that. So they did an honest trailers for It. This is how I'm going to end my video today. Did honest trailer for It, apparently the 1990 version of It, and a lot of people like in the comment section down below said, they said like, you forgot to. So because they mentioned like John Ritter and they mentioned like a couple of them, but there's 3 guys they don't mention, right? They say, and these other guys, right? Soon by Angel series, maybe in November. We know this one's horror for a fact now. But everybody was really upset and said, hey, he's not just anybody. That's the guy who played John Boy on the Waltons. And they got kind of upset about it, I think, because they got so many comments about it. But the thing that they don't really notice is that Dennis Christopher is in the 1990 version of It. And that, for me, personally, that's a much bigger actor than the guy that played John Boy on the Waltons. Dennis Christopher was in, like, Breaking Away, which was an Academy Award-winning film. He was Jack of all trades in The Profiler. He was in Fade to Black, one of my favorite horror films of all time. And he's just one of those really cool character actors. But I can forgive them for not picking out Dennis Christopher, because he is a character actor that is just so much of a chameleon in everything that he does that I'll forgive them for not like pointing at Dennis Christopher in the movie yet, but he's a really good actor. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Wow, if I missed any of your comments or I missed anything, I Oh, Breaking Away. Breaking the Waves is a surfing movie. But Breaking Away is the movie with Dennis Christopher, and it won. I think it won for best writing, and maybe something else in the Oscars in the year that it came out. That's okay. I mistalk sometimes too. So, and I talk really fast, and I got this accent. So, right on. Thank you so much for watching. I am Aaron. This is my movie library. You guys are the movie club. Thank you for coming in. If this was your first time coming in, please come back. I really enjoyed it. You guys were amazing tonight. You guys rock it. And have a good evening. For me right now, my voice is almost gone. I've gone on for 90 minutes. It is time for tea. If the Vinegar Syndrome is announced tomorrow night, I will be on here and we will be talking about it. Have a great evening. Night all.